Not trying to say it's hot outside, but I saw a group of orcs throw some hobbits in that volcano over there. Welcome, fellow travelers, to part 2 of how to make money fast in No Man's Sky Endurance. Today we will be infusing oxygen with chlorine and cobalt inside of our refineries. Now this is the exact same method I used in How to Have the Very Best Start in No Man's Sky just recently. With one huge difference, I'm going to show you how to get hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of oxygen for free, which is the biggest thing that slows you down in the endurance patch. In the very beginning, you just want to get your hands on a little bit of cobalt, some oxygen, some salt or chlorine, and then just start refining that in your medium or large refineries. Ultimately, traveler, your success totally and completely depends on how much oxygen you feel like buying off little ship guys and terminals, which can take hours upon hours. Once you have your seed material like this ionized cobalt or cobalt here, it's the oxygen that is always the problem. You're going to be able to grow that main thing up here like this chlorine over and over, right up until you run out of oxygen. Then it's a pain in the butt. Supply and demand was adjusted in the endurance patch, which ultimately nerfed all the stuff you can buy on terminals and ship guys by 5 to 6 times, which is kind of brutal. So what? Am I supposed to build some gigantic oxygen harvester farm or something? Nah, these things totally suck. Like, you put in some carbon, you get some oxygen out. It takes forever, and look how far you have to build them apart from each other. It's not like you can stack 3 or 5 of these together. You have to literally keep them spaced this far apart, one at a time. And ain't nobody got time for that, man. Instead, let me get you the most glorious portal address. This portal address I'm about to show you and this base I'm about to highlight is literally the most glorious thing ever since the endurance patch, because my friends, Double Dash Gaming has the very best chlorine farm that I have ever seen in my entire life. Thank you, Space Jesus, for thy kind offerings of oxygen. We are essentially in Mordor right now. This is why I love this doggone place. It is so evil and so hot and so easy to find, which is the very best thing. So let's hop into our ship and get the heck on over there. Fly straight up into space and kind of look around. It makes it easy to find. What you're looking for is a comm ball, and you're looking for the base name S-Class Chlorine Mine. You definitely put the work in making this place look awesome, with the added benefit of making you filthy rich. So excited about touching hundreds of thousands of oxygen, I completely forgot to mention this. Head over to your options, then go over to network, and make sure that your multiplayer is disabled. You don't want that to be enabled. Mostly, you just don't want to have to compete with other travelers, because trust me, they're going to be here farming too. The sounds here in this place are totally and completely glorious. I don't know whether to be afraid or be very afraid. That is so totally badass. I know I went on and on about the oxygen, but this place is a chlorine mine, so you're going to get so much freaking salt for free. I mean, hundreds of thousands of salt too. That's just one of the collection bins. Here's another one. Get some more salt. So yeah, you probably might want to get yourself a bottle of lotion and a hanky for this one. This is just one of the oxygen collection bins. But wait, there's more. I mean, the first time I came here and saw this, I just about freaked out. It was oh my god, I've spent hours and hours trying to film videos, buying oxygen and nailing it home to all the other travelers that every opportunity that they can find, they need to buy the oxygen. Here I am just looting literally hundreds of thousands of oxygen off somebody else's work, man. You are so glorious, man. I am not even kidding you. I love you, bro. I mean, just the salt alone in these bins are worth over 10 million if you don't want to do anything with it and just, pick it up and stuff it in your pocket and sell it later. But we're going to turn it all into chlorine because we're greedy. It's on point. You ring this entire place with a bunch of medium refineries, and of course by the external door there is another thing of salt and another thing of oxygen for you to rub one out to. I mean, now we can finally start making some money. Look at all this free loot here. I mean, the oxygen alone just totally and completely just baffles me to no end for endurance, but that salt is just the icing on the cake. Stage 1 is putting 1 stack of salt and 1 stack of oxygen into each one of these refiners until we completely and totally run out of salt. There we go. Got all my salt taken care of. Might as well check out the base while we're waiting for stage 1 to wrap up. And check this out. You can never have too much nip buds. If you head out the exterior door, you'll notice this big long line of storage containers that Double Dash Gaming built. Now it's really neat, they actually act as your storage containers. Heck, if you wanted to, you can even stuff all the salt and oxygen into your bank vaults and then process it over on the other side. I mean, even if you're not into making several 100 million units, you need to come out here for the view because his base is totally cool next to this volcano. Stage 1 is wrapping up as we speak. Now we're just going to take all this chlorine here, stuff it into our exosuit, and then restart all the refineries all the way around. Round 1 gave us a bit of stash of chlorine. Now we can start working with that in the remainder of these refineries by mixing it with oxygen. Your best bet is to split a stack of chlorine in half and then split a stack of oxygen in half to match it for now. You're going to have extra chlorine left over, but it's all good. We're mostly wanting to burn through the rest of this oxygen. Completely burned through all my oxygen. Look at all the chlorine. And, of course I went over to the containers and grabbed some more oxygen. Thank you, Double Dash Gaming. You're the man. Once you have all that chlorine refined down, it is most definitely worth a tiny bit of effort on your part to track down a terminal that actually sells chlorine to begin with. Found a terminal that sells chlorine. Unfortunately, it is minus 6.2. That's going to come out to probably about a loss of 12 million in our profits here, but I'm greedy. I'm not going to worry about that because we're going to buy it right back up. Now you can only buy back items that the terminal is already selling before you get there, so since it was already selling chlorine, I can go ahead and buy it back up for the ultimate discounted price, which is going to make us make a bunch more money here in just a bit. Like I said, most definitely worth tracking down a terminal that is already selling chlorine, because you could just buy it right back up, and then, if you want to, you can track another one down, or you can head over to the very next space station and not give a space crap if they sell chlorine on the terminal or not, and still sell it anyway and make a nice tidy profit of 345 million, Guess I'll take that. Traveler, I hope this video helped you learn how to make a whole bunch of money fast in No Man's Sky the Endurance update. Thank you for your time today.